Thank you for being interested in Thailand's RPL activities conducted through the Thai Professional Qualification Institute, TPQI, RPL being recognition of prior learning. I first became impressed of TPQI's work in 2018 when they presented at the World Congress of World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics in Australia. I was researching for my Master of Education thesis about candidates' experience of RPL. Recently, my work with the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning allowed me to investigate TPQI further. This information will inform our soon-to-be released global guidelines for RPL for migrants and refugees. Tuniamat, TPQI's International Projects Coordinator, and myself presented this at the VPL Biennale in Iceland this month. I've posted here with permission to contribute to the globe's free RPL Bank of Knowledge. This presentation is first and foremost about Thailand's NQF and the significance of professional qualifications for RPL. Professional qualifications are embedded into the Thai National Qualification Framework. This is unique for NQFs. Professional qualifications comprise occupational standards. They are different to TVET educational qualifications. Thailand intends professional qualifications to strengthen enterprises and professional organisations, which in turn strengthen the education sectors. Thailand's rationale is that professional qualifications provide a mechanism to incentivise enterprises to improve the education system. Employers have buy-in and accountability. Professional qualifications also act as a mechanism to align wages and salaries to capacity, skills and competency. The main aim is to link and integrate the education and training of learners and the labour force. Additionally, it is foreseen professional qualifications will increase education participation. Professional qualifications are the link between the labour market and education, sought by many national training systems. As examples, Australia and the UK are currently undergoing skills reform to make this link stronger. For learners, the Thai NQF links professional occupational standards to education qualifications via RPL. Professional qualifications are gained via RPL. TPQI is an occupational standards agency. It is part of the Prime Minister's office. It is a public organisation. This is important because its activities go across ministries and it can respond in a timely manner to national skills priorities. The TPQI creates, improves and develops occupational standards. It helps education institutions use occupational standards to develop competency-based curriculum. And it also develops testing systems. Across the globe, frequently TVET qualifications are not the same as occupational standards, and this makes RPL almost impossible. Australia's mature VET qualification system struggles with this. Even though our competency-based modular qualifications reflect occupational standards, over the years they have become out of touch and contain additional input requirements, that is training speak, that really outlines requirements for training delivery and assessment rather than simply containing learning outcomes. These input additions act as a barrier for RPL assessment. My master's thesis concurred. This disconnect is a major challenge for candidates. My work in the Middle East is also navigating this problem. Qualifications and occupations do not match, and that for the TVET sector, this is a problem. Professional qualifications solve this problem. They are occupationally based, without training speak, without input requirements. RPL can proceed with less impediment. Professional qualifications are positioned as a translation piece, the bridge in between informal learning outcomes and educational qualifications. But they are also a nationally recognised qualification in themselves, a qualification that has currency in both learning and earning markets. In action, professional qualifications act as a taxonomy in between the labour market and education. It has end-user usefulness as a labour market empowerment mechanism, as well as the more strategic objective of linking enterprises to education. Next, you will hear more on the professional qualification system in Thailand and see the RPL process in action with migrant cohorts. TPQI accredits skills via occupational standards developed and owned by industry. Having occupational standards alongside education and training standards in the national system make it easier for working people to achieve qualifications. It's an alternative pathway that leads to national qualifications. Assessment focuses on recognising skills against the occupational standard that are developed by industry, and assessment is carried out by assessors who are professionals working in the field and who follow a standardised assessment practice. TPQI monitors and audits assessors. Those who pass assessment will receive professional qualifications that are recognised by employers. They can also use their professional qualifications for further education and training. Universities will have a small committee to decide how many credits can be given and how many more they need. The credit bank system you see at the end of the flowchart there is relatively new, late 2021. National legislation and guidelines for implementing and incentivising RPL within this credit bank system are in development. It bodes well that industry is integrated into the system already. RPL uptake is more likely when enterprises trust the system. TPQI accredits and monitors assessment centres. Right now, TPQI has 303 assessment centres across the country. Assessment centres are industry specific. Assessors can come from any assessment centre in the specific field as long as they do not have a conflict of interest with the candidate. Assessors conduct assessment according to TPQI's standardised process using standardised questions and assessment tools. Flexible assessment is applied. To date, 250,000 Thai nationals have been assessed. It is noted most of the unsuccessful candidates are primarily students trained via the classroom route. Most of the successful candidates were trained via the informal learning route, that is, the workplace. Perhaps this provides evidence that RPL awardees are more likely to have employment-ready skills and knowledge than coursework graduates. Something to think on. Last year, TPQI and the IOM collaborated to RPL and award professional qualifications to 142 migrant workers. This is the first in the ASEAN region. TPQI piloted with migrant domestic workers because most migrant workers in the ASEAN are domestic workers. These are women who face more risks and exploitation than any other occupation. The Thai law allows migrant workers to enter Thailand if they are from countries that have MOUs with Thailand. But migrant workers are perceived as unskilled workers who are here to do the 3D, dirty, dangerous or demanding jobs. TPQI's RPL process can prove their skills and can award them qualifications. The Thai NQF, inclusive of professional qualifications, was referenced to the ASEAN Qualification Reference Framework and endorsed in 2020. This has enabled TPQI to start working with neighbouring countries so that migrant workers can also use their professional qualifications when they return to their home countries. I asked Tuni Ahmad how candidates experience this RPL process. She said, "It seems positively. Word has spread, candidates' numbers are rising." A digital forum called HomeNet for migrant domestic workers, sponsored by IOM, is being used by successful candidates to encourage and support others. They share that it is not scary, it's just what we do every day. And isn't that the crux of RPL? It's not scary, it's just what we do every day. Migrant workers in Thailand have been perceived as unskilled workers. TPQI formally recognises skills and experience in occupations that are traditionally perceived as unskilled and award professional qualifications. Certification helps migrants when they seek to change jobs in Thailand and improve job opportunities for returning migrants. In 2022, TPQI has continued the partnership with IOM and is extending uphill activities to migrant construction and seamstress workers. Thank you for being interested in Thailand's most excellent model.